The Zaphirian War Council had been planning the assault on the human settlement of New Terra for months. Commander Vextar studied the holographic displays with his 6 compound eyes, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the ship's harsh lighting. The humans, or Grimspawn as they were known throughout the galaxy, had been expanding too aggressively into Zaphirian space. Intelligence reports indicate minimal defenses, hissed Sub-Commander Crix through his mandibles. A few dozen civilians, basic energy shields, primitive kinetic weapons will crush them within an hour. Vextar nodded, his antennae twitching with anticipation. The Zaphirians were apex predators from a world where only the strongest survived. Their warrior culture had conquered 17 systems, and these soft pink mammals would be no different. The assault began at dawn. 50 Zaphirian shock troopers descended from orbit in their sleek attack pods, landing in the settlement's main square with thunderous impacts that shattered windows and sent humans scurrying for cover. Among those humans were Rafi Chen, a xenobiologist, and Alvina Rodriguez, a terraforming engineer. They had been cataloging local flora when the attack commenced, but instead of running to the shelters like the others, they exchanged a meaningful look. "Should we?" Alvina asked, her dark eyes gleaming with something that might have been excitement. Rafi grinned, pushing his sandy hair from his eyes. "I think it's time they met Rex." The Zaphirians advanced through the settlement with practiced precision, their plasma rifles charged and ready. They were apex predators, standing nearly 3 meters tall, with razor-sharp claws and natural armor that could deflect most small arms fire. They had evolved to fear nothing. That was their first mistake. Commander Vextar was coordinating the assault from the settlement's center when he noticed 2 humans approaching. Not fleeing, approaching. His combat instincts screamed warnings, but he dismissed them. These were Grimspawn after all. Soft, weak creatures who had somehow stumbled into space travel despite their obvious biological limitations. "Excuse me," called out Rafi, waving his hand as if greeting an old friend. "Sorry to interrupt, but you're kind of in our backyard here." The Zaphirian warriors raised their weapons, but Vextar held up a clawed hand. He wanted to savor this moment, to see the terror in these creatures' eyes before ending them. "Surrender, Grimspawn," Vextar growled in heavily accented standard. "Your species is weak. Your defenses are pathetic. We are the apex predators of 17 worlds." Alvina tilted her head thoughtfully. "Apex predators, that's cute. Rafi, should we show them what we consider a pet?" Rafi cupped his hands around his mouth and called out in a sing-song voice, "Here, Rex, come here, boy." The ground began to tremble. Dust motes danced in the air as something massive approached through the terraformed forest beyond the settlement. The Zaphirians shifted nervously, their compound eyes darting toward the tree line. Then Rex emerged. He was 60 meters long from snout to tail tip, standing 20 meters at the shoulder. His hide was a mottled brown and green that had allowed him to blend perfectly with the forest. Massive teeth, each the size of a Zaphirian's arm, gleamed in his enormous jaws. His golden eyes, each larger than a warrior's head, focused on the gathering with what could only be described as curiosity. Rex was a Titan-class apex predator from humanity's own prehistoric past, brought back through genetic reconstruction and enhanced with modern biotechnology. On Earth, he would have been the undisputed king of the food chain. Here on New Terra, he was Rafi and Alvina's research partner and, more importantly, their friend. The Zaphirian warriors, who had never known fear, experienced it for the first time in their evolutionary history. Several of them actually took involuntary steps backward. Their plasma rifles, which had seemed so formidable moments before, now felt like toys in their clawed hands. "Easy there, big guy," Rafi said, walking forward and patting Rex's massive foreleg. The gesture was so casual, so completely without fear, that several Zaphirians' minds simply refused to process what they were seeing. Rex lowered his enormous head and nuzzled Rafi gently, careful not to knock him over. The sound he made was somewhere between a purr and a rumble that vibrated through the ground and into the Zaphirian's bones. "This is Rex," Alvina explained conversationally to the frozen warriors. He's a Tyrannosaurus Rex enhanced with modern regenerative medicine and neural interfaces. We brought him back because, well, humans get lonely out here in the void, and sometimes you just want a pet that can keep up with our lifestyle. Commander Vextar's mind reeled. The creature before him was clearly an apex predator beyond anything in Zaphirian experience. Its teeth could shear through their battle armor like paper. Its claws could rend their exoskeletons with ease. And these humans treated it like a companion animal. "What kind of species?" Vexitar whispered, his voice barely audible even. To himself, befriends their own planet's ultimate predator. But the horror wasn't over. Rex suddenly perked up his massive head, listening to something the others couldn't hear. His tail began to wag, a motion that required several Zaphirians to dodge falling tree branches. "Oh," Raffi said, checking his wrist communicator. "Looks like the others are coming back from their walk." The ground trembled again, this time from multiple sources. Through the forest came Rex's packmates, 3 more Tyrannosaurus Rex, 2 Giganotosaurus, and what appeared to be a family of Triceratops that had somehow been convinced to join the group. "We've been studying pack dynamics in extinct Earth species," Alvina explained to the increasingly pale Zaphirians. "Turns out, with the right social conditioning and neural enhancement, apex predators make excellent companions, much more reliable than the automated defense systems other colonies use." One of the younger Zaphirian warriors dropped his plasma rifle entirely. It clattered against the pavement, the sound echoing in the sudden silence. "The Grimspawn," Sub-Commander Crix breathed, "are insane." "Actually," Raffi said with a grin, "we prefer creative problem solvers. See, when humans left Earth, we missed our pets. Dogs and cats are great, but they're not much use against armored alien invaders. So we thought, why not bring back the pets our species never got to have the first time around?" Rex noticed the Zaphirian's distress and took a step forward, tilting, his massive head curiously. His golden eyes studied the warriors with what appeared to be genuine interest, the same way a house cat might examine a new toy. That's when Commander Vextar made his decision. "Retreat," he whispered, then louder, "Retreat. All units, immediate withdrawal." The Zaphirian warriors needed no further encouragement. They scattered like leaves in a hurricane, running for their drop pods with a speed that would have impressed their drill instructors. Within minutes, their ships were breaking orbit, fleeing the system as if pursued by demons. Raffi and Alvina watched them go, then looked at each other and burst into laughter. "Think they'll be back?" Alvina asked, scratching Rex behind one massive ear ridge. "Doubtful," Raffi replied. "Word gets around fast in warrior cultures. By next week, every species in 3 sectors will know that humans keep dinosaurs as pets." Rex rumbled contentedly and settled down for a nap in the settlement square, carefully avoiding the smaller buildings. The other members of his pack followed suit, turning the area into an impromptu prehistoric preserve. "Best security system ever," Alvina murmured, settling against Rex's warm flank with her tablet to continue her research. High above in orbit, the last Zaphirian scout drone captured one final image before following the fleet. 2 humans, sitting peacefully beside creatures that could have devoured armies, looking for all the world like they were having a pleasant afternoon with beloved friends. The image would become legendary across the galaxy, a reminder that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their inexplicable ability to turn the universe's most dangerous creatures into family.